there are opportunities outside of Yonglulin that NUS provides for students to be actively engaged? I think yes, there definitely is a lot of opportunities. So firstly in the form of NUS CCAs, which I'm personally involved in, and I also have friends in choir, in water polo, and apart from these like more intense kind of competition-driven CCAs, there's also recreational CCAs such as like Japanese Culture Appreciation Club, which interested students can also join and learn and make friends from. Apart from NUS CCAs, there's also various other activities and events such as freshman orientation, rag and flag, which I also enjoyed as a incoming freshman. And we also get regular email updates about various talks and events that you can sign up for. So there's definitely no lack of opportunities or things to do outside of school.
Absolutely. I think there are so many opportunities for you to learn stuff beyond medicine. So there are many CCAs for you to choose from, be it sports or other stuff. So for me, I do a lot of sports, and I also take part in Toastmasters. And I also took part in a summer exchange to Mexico in M1. So that was something that NUS offered. And I also started my entrepreneurship journey with NUS Enterprise. And right now I'm taking a course on counseling with another faculty. And before COVID, I used to pop into different lectures around NUS whenever I had the time. But I don't think you can do that anymore. Maybe you can find the Zoom for that. Yeah.
I can't say much. I joined Aikido for about half a semester in year 1, but I didn't continue due to various time constraints. Also, the MPSH wasn't air conditioned, so yeah, I was dying on the inside.
Is it hard for you to make friends outside of medical school? I don't think so. I think it's the same amount of difficulty. No matter where you go, as long as you put yourself out there and are open enough to listen to people and talk to them and understand about them, it's the same difficulty, not any more difficult than it is in med school.
Not really. While I suppose it may be harder to make friends outside a bubble and in the wider world, all it really takes is some effort and social awareness. It's important to compartmentalize, as many people outside of our fellow medical students can't easily relate to the same challenges. Oversharing is one way of getting people bored with you. So I try to be someone interesting to talk to, and I find that I wouldn't lack conversation partners.
I would say to a certain extent, yes. It was easier in the M1 and M2 years where we had a lot of different community projects, overseas trips, and there were more opportunities to meet people. But when you come to clinical years, the main people you tend to see is your CG mates, and the postings are also quite short in duration. So I would say it's slightly more difficult to make friends. But if you do things outside of medicine, you still have the opportunity to meet many new people.
Can you tell me a medical joke? So, which part of the body dies the latest? It's the pupils because they dilate. Yeah.
Do pick-up lines work? Okay. Are you a C-reactive protein? Because you have a cute face. Hope you caught that.
Okay, so what is the sweetest muscle in the body? The answer is mylohyoid, because Milo!
What do you like about NUS Medicine? Okay, I think I love the fact that NUS Medicine allows me to explore a lot of my interests beyond just the textbook. I've heard a lot of horror stories about how if you study medicine, you can't do anything outside because you will be in the library studying all the time. But I feel like that is not true, and I've actually gotten to learn a lot more about life beyond the textbook. Beyond that, I also feel like the NUS medicine community is very supportive, and most of our doctors and profs are very, very friendly and forthcoming to teach us about life beyond just the clinical and the textbook stuff. And I also feel that because many of them graduated from NUS, they understand the difficulties that we might be facing, and they are open enough to like share about how we may better address them.
I think one thing I really like about NUS medicine, especially after I began entry, is the clinical experience. So the clinical experience is actually something where you get to experience and see all the knowledge that you coalesce and have learned in the lower M, M1, M2, start to make sense and actually come to life in the patients that you see.
I love the clinical years the most. Even the postings that I don't relate to as much are still educational and interesting. The learning is kept interesting because everyone goes through a different experience every day. So while you may have to make sure that your basics are covered, everyone comes out of rounds or clinics with an interesting tidbit or extra information that we share together over lunch. So there's this learning from the doctors and also this learning from your peers. And I want to thank all the doctors who engage us when we are around, and especially to those who give up their own personal time to teach us as well. I feel that the culture in NUS medicine is a very kind and friendly one. The senior-junior relationships, the bonds within and outside of the clinical groups, it's a very uncompetitive environment where knowledge is shared willingly and you feel alright and comfortable making mistakes and learning together. Also, I feel that our scrubs colours are